If you're over 40 and still bulking like you did in your 20s, it could be the reason your physique hasn't changed in years. In this video, I'm going to break down the 5 reasons men over 40 should not bulk like they used to. And make sure you watch till the end because I'm going to give you the exact diet strategy I use to stay lean year round while still building muscle as I age. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. Reason number 1: traditional bulks make you fatter, not more muscular. In theory, it makes sense that more calories would equal more muscle growth since your body has more resources to build with. But does a bigger surplus actually build more muscle? In one study, researchers took 39 trained athletes and split them into 2 groups. One group ate a 600-calorie surplus, and the other group ate near maintenance. In the end, both groups gained the same amount of lean muscle, but the high surplus group gained 2 to 3 times more fat. This shows that muscle growth isn't determined by how much you eat, but by how much your body can actually build in response to training. Think of it like building a house. Your body can only lay so many bricks per day based on how much work your crew can handle. Once you've delivered enough bricks and supplies, bringing in more doesn't make the crew work faster. They can only do so much in a day. Thus, the extra bricks just pile up in the yard, and in this case, that extra pile becomes body fat. So, while a small surplus can help ensure you're maximizing muscle growth, our body's ability to build muscle is limited, and eating more calories than we need isn't going to somehow force more growth. Reason number 2: the fatter you get, the less muscle you build. Research shows that individuals with very high body fat have a reduced rate of muscle protein synthesis, even with proper protein intake and resistance training. And if you're already dealing with age-related anabolic resistance, it's not hard to see how this could completely sabotage your gains. Not only that, but there's a clear relationship between body fat percentage and the quality of weight gained. According to this study, lean individuals tend to gain 60 to 70% lean mass when overfed, while fatter individuals gain only 30 to 40% lean tissue. And if that wasn't enough, this 2014 study found that baseline factors like lean mass, VO2 max, androgen levels, and even mitochondrial function heavily influenced how much fat-free mass was gained during overfeeding. In other words, the leaner, fitter, and more hormonally optimized you are, the better your odds of actually gaining muscle and not just body fat. Reason number 3: cutting fat gets harder with age. In your 20s, it was simple. You cut carbs a bit, throw in some cardio, and the fat would melt off. After 40, however, you're juggling work stress, family life, slower recovery, and a body that doesn't bounce back the way it used to. To top it all off, testosterone starts to decline. What's worse is that carrying more body fat ramps up aromatase, an enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen. This directly affects your energy, your mood, and more importantly, your ability to build and maintain muscle. It also becomes a cycle. More fat equals more aromatase, which means less testosterone, which leads to more fat gain. And get this, testosterone helps activate the receptors that signal your body to use stored fat for energy. So when testosterone is low, so is that signal. This isn't to say you can't get lean again, but it may be a bit more difficult or take a little longer, especially if you're trying to hang on to as much muscle as possible. Reason number 4: more body fat equals insulin resistance. Carrying extra fat in your 20s is one thing, but after 40, it starts amplifying issues that are already in motion. One of the big ones is insulin resistance. As you age, your body becomes less efficient at handling carbs, and the more fat you carry, the worse it gets. Insulin stops working the way it should. Rather than sending nutrients to your muscles, it starts pushing more of them into fat storage. Thus, your recovery slows down, your energy levels dip, and fat gain gain accelerates. Insulin resistance also increases your risk for serious health issues like type 2 diabetes, and the data on this is clear. The more fat you have, the greater the risk. And as previously mentioned, testosterone plays a role here too. More fat equals lower testosterone, which worsens insulin resistance. And when insulin resistance climbs, it can further suppress testosterone. One feeds the other, sabotaging your metabolic and hormonal systems. Reason number 5, it's a net negative. Traditional bulking isn't just inefficient, it can be a net negative. What I mean is, the more fat you gain during a bulk, the longer your cut has to be. And the longer you cut, the more susceptible you become to muscle loss. And this isn't just theory. A major literature review found that calorie restriction in older adults significantly raises the risk of muscle loss, disability, and functional decline. Another review adds that while cutting calories reduces fat mass, it can also negatively affect muscle and bone tissue, especially if nutrient intake falls short or the deficit drags on too long. And in one study, a prolonged 40% calorie reduction led to a 25% drop in body weight, about 1/3 of that from fat-free mass. So if your bulk adds 20 to 30 pounds of fat, that's not just extra weight, it's months of cutting just to undo it. And the longer the cut lasts, the more muscle you end up losing. So if the goal is to build muscle maximally, here are 2 options I recommend. Option A, body recomposition. If you've been training consistently for a few years, the reality is that muscle growth will be relatively slow no matter what you do. At this stage, a massive calorie surplus won't speed things up. It'll just add unnecessary fat you'll have to diet off later. That's why a body recomposition approach makes more sense. You're eating enough to support muscle growth at the best rate your body is capable of right now without pushing calories so high that fat gain becomes inevitable. This means eating around maintenance, keeping protein high, slightly increasing activity, and training hard. Over time, you'll build muscle and lose fat simultaneously, with your body weight staying roughly the same. The end result is a leaner, more muscular physique without the detour of bulk and cut cycles that cost you months of progress. Option B, eat in a small surplus. If you're newer to lifting or still in that stage where strength and muscle gains come steadily, you can afford to eat in a small surplus. Early on, your body is more responsive to training, meaning you can build muscle faster than someone who's been lifting for years. The key is to keep that surplus modest, about 10% above your maintenance calories. For example, if your maintenance is 2,500 calories, that's only an extra 250 per day. This is enough to maximize muscle growth while minimizing fat gain, so you're not stuck having to diet off a bunch of extra weight later. The bonus is that by avoiding excessive fat gain, you can stay in a growth phase longer without needing to cut. To ensure you're not overdoing it, track your progress both in the mirror and on the scale. If you're gaining more than about half a pound per week, you're likely overshooting and should pull back. But if you're seeing noticeable muscle growth and the scale is creeping up slowly at around 1/4 of a pound per week, that's a good indication that you're putting on quality size. And if you're still struggling to build muscle after 40, stop spending weeks, months, or even years testing diets, switching up workouts, watching videos, and hoping something finally works. Instead, follow a proven system with expert coaching designed specifically for men our age. I'll build you a fully customized training and nutrition plan based on your goals, your schedule, and your current fitness level, and I'll coach you through it step by step over the next 16 weeks. This is the exact process I've used to help thousands of men over 40 drop fat, build lean muscle, boost energy, and finally start seeing real results. So if you're tired of spinning your wheels and want something that actually works, click the link in the description and fill out the short application. From there, I'll reach out to you directly by email or text message within 24 to 48 hours. Now, because this is a one-on-one program, I can only take on a small number of clients at a time. Once the spots are filled, you'll be placed on a a wait list. So if you're serious about getting results and you're ready to stop guessing, click the link below, fill out the application, and let's get started. Did you find this video helpful? If so, click the like button below as it'll truly help out the channel. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe for more videos and don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss the next one. Peace.